right, welcome to One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars, and thank you guys for joining me tonight. Um, I don't know if you guys, maybe you don't hear it, but I don't hear any of the cicadas, or if you want to call them locusts. I don't hear them in the house. So we live out in the country, and I was walking out around the house a little while ago, and I mean it was coming from both directions. I was like, man, the decibel levels from all those cicadas is crazy. And then occasionally one would just fly and hit me on the head, and I have no padding, so it's kind of startles me just a little bit. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. This is Monday, May the 20th. Can you guys believe it? May is almost gone. We have a lot of our student athletes have already graduated. The young man we're talking to tonight, he just had his project graduation last night, got home late, so hopefully we keep him entertained and he doesn't end up taking a nap on us during the program. But we've got Justin Atnip from Blair Oaks Falcons on the program tonight, and you guys can see that that's a pretty intimidating young man right there. I know that I wouldn't have wanted to run up against him on the football field, but you're going to also find that yes, he may look intimidating, but he's also a very nice young man, and you're going to enjoy this conversation that we have with him tonight about his article, as well as some of the things beyond football, beyond what's coming up next. So I hope you enjoy that. Before we bring Justin on, though, I want to just share with you really quickly, uh, and I'll probably do it a second time during this program, but tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 7, there is a very worthwhile ministry right here in Jefferson City, the Healing House and New Beginnings. They are having their fundraiser at Memorial Park, and they have food available. Um, I can't tell you off the top of my head what the price is per plate, but it's fundraising to help them in their ministry of a year-long program with women that have either been incarcerated or had some addiction, different things like that. It's a Christian-based program. They do a fantastic job, and they really help these women get their lives back on track. And some of them get them on track. They never have been. So um, it's a very, very good ministry to support. So tomorrow at Memorial Park from 5 to 7, if you can be out there, they're also having a silent auction. Okay, now we're going to talk about Justin Atnip, and let's go ahead and bring Justin on right now because we want to catch him before he goes to sleep. Right, right, Justin. How
Hey,
you doing,
what's
man?
up? Good, how are you?
Good. So what time did you get home last night from project graduation?
Like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's pretty late.
Okay, okay, yeah. I was sleeping pretty hard at that time, so that's good. All right. Hey, so what did you think about your article?
It was good.
First,
I read it, and a lot of people gave me some good compliments on it. It was nice to read.
okay, good. So, I don't know if we can do name, image, likeness. I mean, anybody give you anything for that, or any
No, I would.
autographs, anything like that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? They're missing out. That's what I'm saying. We enjoyed our interview and photo shoot with you. My daughter Katie, she does the photo shoots, and I thought she captured just kind of that intensity, as well as just the motivation that you have to do well in everything that you do. So that was a lot of fun. Hopefully, you had fun as well.
Yeah, it was a great time. I appreciate you the opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, we were honored to have you in there. So. Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And I do want to just encourage anybody that's watching, if you have any comments or any questions, feel free to bring those into the comment section and we will try to get those questions answered, or we'll put your comments up on screen if we can. This is audience participation, so jump right in. All right, Justin, first of all, talk about the success that you've had playing football for the Blair Oaks Falcons. I mean, you guys had two state championships, you were Tri-County Conference championships, and then you also had three district championships. Tell us about all those.
I mean, that's just something that over the years Blair Oaks has been kind of used to and blessed with. Not a lot of schools can say that they've seen 4 of the last 6 state or 3 of the last 5 state titles, and that's something we've certainly been blessed with. But we also put the work in around here, and those 5 a.m. summer workouts and January early morning lifting sessions is something that we can certainly attribute our success to.
would you say that it was a um, would you say that it was a thing? I'm not going to say generational, but something that you guys had passed down to you, that work ethic, and then you passed it on to others. Would you say that that's kind of how you guys' success was built?
Absolutely. I believe there's a lot of rich tradition here at Blair Oaks, and that's something that everybody has passed down. And there's signs in the locker room and stuff that keeps you motivated a lot during the season.
And you got some pretty good coaches too, but we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and talk about the two state championships and how each of those were different?
So in 2020, I was a freshman, and that was when COVID started. So that was definitely interesting. As a freshman, you're kind of like a tackle dummy. You're just on scout team the whole time. It's definitely a learning curve, but it certainly builds character. And that was a pretty strong senior and junior class, so I got beat up pretty good. But
All right.
and then in 2022, as a junior, I ended up starting that season at right tackle, and I mean we were pretty dominant. We went 14-0. It was a great time.
Yeah, that's great. So let's go from your freshman year. Do you remember what your playing weight was back then when you were the so-called tackle dummy? And
Yeah,
then,
I was probably like 220 pounds,
okay,
and I
and
was going against some pretty big dudes.
yeah, and so what was your playing weight your senior year?
I played like 260,
Okay,
265.
all right. A lot more muscle than when you were a freshman.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, all right, good. Uh, Tell us about your leadership role as a captain, and what was that responsibility that you had, and what did that mean to you?
I mean, we had 14 seniors, so a lot leadership was pretty spread out among position groups, but me and Cole Peters were the two seniors on the O line this year, and I believe we took pretty good charge. And being voted captain more than 1 week is something that was definitely an honor, and it's a privilege to be recognized by your teammates like that.
Yeah, talk about that process. You said being um, voted captain during the week. So tell us about that process and how that all plays out.
Yeah, so every Thursday and during our weightlifting class at school, we vote for captains, and there you can vote among seniors and starters, and it's pretty big to get voted that.
Hmm. Okay. So was that something that you had happen quite a bit throughout the year?
Yeah, I got voted like 5 or 6 times.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And your responsibility as captain, I mean, what would you try to convey to your teammates?
Basically, if like we had questionable call or something on the field, just go up to the ref and ask him what our player can do better next time. If it was a holding call or a block in the back penalty, something like that. Just to make that connection between the player and the official just a little bit easier, smoother transition. So we got nobody yelling at each other and stuff like that.
Yep, I think there was an offensive lineman on the Kansas City Chiefs that needed to have a whole bunch of conversations with the officials last year as about what can he do better.
Oh gosh,
That was horrible. But then it all worked out. It was fun. But
yeah.
uh, talk about Coach LePage and your other coaches. How special were they, and what have you learned from them, and what kind of lessons will you be able to take in the next stage of your life?
I mean, those guys, Coach Cook, Coach Hall, Coach LePage, and all of them, they want to win just as bad as we do. And that shows when they show up for every early morning weightlifting session. And they're giving up just as much time as we are from their families and friends. And those guys have seen it all. They have a lot of experience. Coach Cook and Coach LePage both played at Mizzou. Coach Hall has been coaching for 30 plus years. Coach Lindebrink's been at Blair Oaks for a really long time. So we got a lot of experience.
Mhm. And what would you say is for you? What are the biggest things that helped motivate you to do better?
I'd say it's just like never getting complacent. Like as a junior, after coming off a state title, it's easy to think that you're on top of the world and there's no room to improve. But I mean, we lost a huge senior class, and we had to get back to that point. So we made it our mission that year to grind in the off season and do whatever we could to get better.
Hmm. Very good. Uh, Speaking of the next level, you and I talked a little bit before the program about that. Why don't you share with everybody what your plans are going into the fall, and actually what you're going to be doing this summer too.
Yeah, I'm planning to attend State Tech in Lynn, Missouri to pursue a business degree, and then I might transfer out of there to a university to take some medical classes because I'm interested in medical sales.
Okay, very good. And this summer you've got like an internship, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good, very good. What are some of your favorite memories at Blair Oaks with your teammates?
I'd say in the state title game, we ran a inside trap play, and I made a back block on the D tackle or the D end, and I got to watch Dylan Hare run for like a 40-yard touchdown. That was pretty sweet. And then anytime we got to go into wishbone formation, which is basically we get all the big boys up front, and we just get to pile up and hit some stuff.
Yeah, that's great. That would that's good for you guys, but not necessarily the person on the receiving end.
Yeah, not always.
Kind of like the blind side where he was just trucking people. Is that kind of what it was
Yeah,
like? Okay.
a bit.
What was your when we talk about what's your favorite moment on the field of play, um, you also played baseball, and this last spring, this spring here, you also played golf. Tell us about those things.
Baseball was something I really liked, and then towards my junior year, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to play, but my little brother plays golf, and the opportunity to play on the golf team this year was open to me. So
Hmm.
I played with my little brother, and I had a great time. I wasn't the best, but it was surely fun.
Oh, good. Okay, so bragging rights wise, you better than him, or is he better than you?
He's way better than me.
Okay. Well, you're honest, and that's good.
Yeah,
But you had fun with it, right?
yeah, it was a good time.
Good. What position did you play in baseball?
I usually DH'd, but I played first base if I was in the field, but I usually was a designated hitter. So.
Okay. All right. Tell us about the Blair Oaks fans and the community support. What did you appreciate about that whole experience?
I mean, every Friday night in Wardsville, everybody's showing up to the Falcon Athletic Complex. There's going to be a sea of green on your side of the stadium. I mean, week one this year, we went to play at UCM, which is like a 2.5 hour drive from Wardsville, and we had an entire stadium filled with Kelly Green. And it's just, not very many high schools are blessed enough to say that they have a student section like that and a fan section like that.
Okay, so along with that, why don't you go ahead and talk about the state championship experience where, the crowd would travel to. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Faroe Field, it's pretty electric there, especially when you got a probably five. I don't know how many people were there, but we had a lot of Blair Oaks fans, and whenever we're at the end of the state championship game and we're holding up that trophy, and you got however many people yelling "We are Blair Oaks," it gives you goosebumps, and it's pretty awesome.
Okay, so through that entire crowd, could you hear your mom?
No,
No, okay, okay, just checking. I'm sure that I'm pretty sure I might have heard my mom a time or two. I don't know, but that's good. We'll get into that a little bit more going into the next segment, but I do want to talk a little bit more about you with your teammates. What are some of those moments that you really felt like you bonded with them, and what are some of the things that you're going to miss as you go forward?
I mean, there was things as simple just as like goofing around in the locker room, just hanging out with the guys after practice in the cold tub, taking an ice bath, just stuff like that just means a lot whenever you're just having conversations. I mean, we had O line dinners every Thursday, and those were just a great time, just talking to the younger guys, talking to the other seniors. It's just that brotherhood. There's nothing really like it.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to jump into this question. An offensive line dinner. I mean, how much food would there be at something like that?
We used to go to get either BOGO wings at B Dubs, or we would go to the Applebee's where you could get all you can eat wings for like $12. And there was one time like 20 of us finished like 500 wings.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the day before game too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sure you had a little bit of maybe a little bit of issue. I don't know. Depends on what kind of sauce you use. What kind of sauce do you like on yours?
Uh, I like garlic parmesan.
Okay. Don't go for the super hot stuff.
No.
Okay. See, that's why I would have a problem because I like the hot stuff, and too much of it
Yeah.
would probably not be good. All right, Justin, you've done an outstanding job. I want to encourage anybody again, if you guys want to ask any questions or make comments just about what you appreciate about Justin, and maybe just through watching him play or just knowing him, feel free to jump in and share those. We'll be happy to bring them on the program. And then we're going to have a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in just a few moments.
Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
All right. We appreciate CNS Employment Solutions and everything that they do right here in mid-Missouri, including finding jobs for people that need them and also helping employers find people to fill their jobs. So again, if you guys know anybody that needs a job, make sure that you contact Paula and her team at CNS Employment Solutions, and they will get you set up. All right, another business that we appreciate is one that recognizes our coaches right here in mid-Missouri, and that's Big Whiskies. And they do our coach of the issue. I never can get it right moving this back and forth, but they tell us a little bit about the coaches right here in mid-Missouri and how impactful they are. Just like Coach LePage, he was our coach of the issue on a particular issue a while back. And just all the different things that they do, the time that they put in. I mean, the time that these coaches put in, pouring into our student athletes right here in mid-Missouri is just phenomenal. The time spent away from their families, just all the long hours planning, making sure that the kids are getting good grades, all those different things that are involved in that. So we really appreciate Big Whiskey's recognizing them. So, and again, one more thing before we get into this next segment. Again, the Healing House and New Beginnings fundraiser tomorrow night at Memorial Park from 5 to 7 p.m. Again, it's a plate dinner, and I think it's catered by Colton. So make sure that you get out there and support that great ministry if you can. All right, we have been talking to Justin Atnip of the Blair Oaks Falcons, or I'm going to say former Blair Oaks Falcon. He is now a graduate, and we've learned quite a bit already, Justin. I mean, two-time state champion, um, brother, son, all the different things that you do, and you're getting ready to go do some more stuff with your career. But we're going to go ahead and talk right now about finish up a little bit with football. You got started at an early age. Tell us a little bit about that and what was your inspiration for playing football and how it became a passion.
Yeah, so sports have always been a big part of my life. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, and football. And then we moved here from Lynn when my brother was in fifth grade because we wanted the opportunity to play football. So we moved to Blair Oaks. And looking up to him playing all those years in Junior Falcons was something that certainly made me want to play.
Well, your brother was actually on one of our covers, and I don't remember what year that was, but he was on there with two other guys. We had three of them on there from Blair Oaks, and so you were an individual. You had your own article. You didn't have to share it with anybody, so you can just tell him that, okay?
All right.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you meant in your article when you said football gave you a sense of belonging? What did you mean by that?
Not only does that mean like that you're just loving the sport, but also those 50 or 60 guys that you play with, they start to become like family, and you just feel welcome every time you walk into the locker room, and that you know that those guys are going to have your back no matter the circumstance.
Yeah, it's important to feel like you have some people that you can go to, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but you definitely had some time in your life where you had a few difficulties. But I want to ask you, we titled your article "Beyond Football Friday Nights Lights." What does that mean to you? What do you think that meant?
I mean, if I can make an impact in anybody's life, like beyond the football field, that's something I want to do. Just making a kid smile who maybe doesn't even know me. That just means a lot to me, and I think that if there's any impact I can make, it can go far beyond the football field.
Yeah. So talk about that in the hallways at school, in the classroom. How did you try to make an impact there?
I mean, kids that maybe are sitting by themselves at lunch or stuff like that, just going and having a conversation or saying hi, or as simple as just a wave and a smile can go a long way with anybody.
That is huge right there. When I did youth ministry, that was one thing that I really, really tried to impress upon the students when, they were in there on Wednesday nights. Is like, we do not always understand what took place with somebody before they arrived to service that night. They may have had that day, a parent might have um, yelled at them, might have said something discouraging to them. They may be going through a depression. They may have been bullied. I mean, there's all different things that somebody might have gone through before we came across their path. And that's why I always wanted to stress the importance of just just try to do exactly like what you did. Just show some interest and try to pour into people's lives. So good job. All right. We had Wyatt Meldrum said, great answer, Justin. All right. Awesome, Wyatt. You see the response you got there. Very good.
Yeah, I see it now.
All right. Tell us about your mom. Okay, we're going to just jump right in there. I mean, I know that this could probably fill up the whole program talking about your mom. How impactful has she been in your life, and why do you consider her the MVP of your family?
I mean, a single mother having to take care of a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old after her husband passed away is certainly something that you have to respect. I mean, she went as far as coaching our flag football teams, taking us to every game, cooking meals. We were all growing boys, so feeding us was something that was definitely not easy, and she made it look pretty easy. So
Yeah, talking about being a single mom and raising you. I mean, you guys had a difficult time when you were younger. You want to share a little bit about what took place with your dad and how you guys were able to come together as a family after that?
yeah, so whenever I was 6 years old, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer, and like, if you have bone cancer in your arm or your leg, you can get an amputation. But he had bone cancer in his back, and it was something that he beat it, and then a couple months later it came back, and he couldn't beat it the second time, and it was too much, and that was something that definitely like shaped the way I want to live my life to like just be a fighter through everything.
Yeah, and how did I mean, how did your dad's life impact you?
I mean, there's definitely negatives and positives to it, but you can either choose how you're gonna like. I use it as my why. It's my fuel every day. Like the reason I'm gonna try and make people happy, or the reason I'm gonna try and better myself with whatever I do is because of him. And if I can do something that he was not able to do, then I'm gonna try and do that.
So you use that as a motivating factor for how you're going to treat people and do things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yep. That's exactly how it was for me with my brother, who was a year younger than me and passed away in 2012 from a brain aneurysm. And, for me, it was a determination that, in the ministry part, I'm going to try to win more people to Christ than I had ever done before. So, um, and the amazing thing out of that was my dad came to know Christ after that, and it was pretty amazing. So, um, you know, horrible things that took place, but you have the right attitude and just doing the best that you can unto others. That's what it's all about. All right, hey, we got a question. Blake Terry, what are some of the things you like to do outside of school and sports?
I like to fish, and I like to play cards with my friends.
Okay, what's the biggest fish that you've caught?
I caught like a 5 pound bass before,
Okay,
and I caught some pretty big crappie too. But
okay. So you're not embellishing 5 pounds. I mean, true 5 pound fish.
yeah, it was. But
Okay, all right, good. Now tell us about your siblings, each one of them, and how they're important to you. What difference have they made in your life?
So Nolan being the oldest one and him having to kind of step in that role after my dad passed away, he's always been something he's been a role model of mine and someone I've looked up to. Michael is someone that's always keeping me on my toes. He's calling me out when I'm doing something wrong, and he's keeping me young. And my stepbrother Jet is somebody that I definitely built a bond with over the years, and he's become like a friend to me and a brother.
Yep, I remember Jet when he was a little boy out at the ball fields with his dad. So, um, and speaking of your stepdad, why don't you tell us a little bit about Dustin and how he's been able to support you and your brothers, as well as supporting your mom?
Yeah, so after my dad passed away, there was like, I mean, you don't really think anybody's gonna fill that hole, but
Right.
as well as somebody could, Dustin did a pretty good job. He came in and he won us over pretty good. He's a great guy, and he's definitely someone I look up to each and every day.
Yeah. Now he had a little bit of, I mean, you just told me before the program, he had a little bit of an accident. Tell us about that. And um, do we need to send him to driving school or what's happened here?
Yeah, he wrecked his truck like 2 months ago, I think, and he broke his back and broke his neck, and he was in
Man.
pretty good pain.
Yeah. But you said he got out of his neck brace now?
Yeah, he's up and walking, and he's back at work and whatnot, so
Okay.
that's good.
Good. All right. Um, you make sure I told him hello and that,
All right, I will.
make sure that he is, as my wife would say, drive slow and safe. That's what she always tells me before I leave. So tell him drive slow and safe. Your mom said in your article that you are pure joy. You have an amazing ability to make people smile and laugh each day. Describe what that means about you and how you hope it impacts others. Pure joy.
Uh, Kind of going back to the like just doing anything you can to make somebody's day. That's one thing that I would like to I think that means. I guess I like to smile. I like to laugh. I like to make people have fun. I like to have a good time. And if I can lighten the mood in any way that less stressing somebody out, then I'm gonna try and do that.
Awesome. All right. Talk about your drive to get stronger and fight through things. Some people are meant to push through. I mean, some people are built to push through things, and some people have to learn it. Was that just something ingrained in you, or did you have to learn how to do that?
I mean, at first I kind of had to learn about to do that. I mean, I used to cry a lot when I got beat up by my older brother, but it's something that it kind of builds character and builds toughness and strength. And also learned a lot of that through football and the adversity I faced in my life. So that was something I can attribute that to.
Yeah. What was your favorite moment outside of sports, just attending Blair Oaks High School?
I'd say just seeing people in the hallways every day, just growing up with those people since kindergarten, going through all four buildings with them, and then last night it all came together and we graduated, and it just like that, 13 years were over. So it goes by quick.
Yeah, it really does. Wait till you get my age. It's really going fast now.
Yeah.
And you got a good head of hair, so just keep that as long as you can, okay?
All right, I'll try.
I will say, however, that I'm more aerodynamic now. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, I got pretty good long hair.
Yeah. Talk about the transition into the new building. What was that like?
It was definitely different, and finding stuff was pretty hard, but it's pretty simple layout. There's just one long hallway, and then a set of stairs to go to the history classrooms and whatnot. So it wasn't that hard of an adjustment. But I was a sophomore, so it was kind of
All
new,
right.
but nothing too big.
Okay, here we got another question from Wyatt, and I'm just going to put this one on the screen. Let you get the full effect of that one.
They all think I have a perm. My buddies think I have a perm.
Uh,
Natural.
yeah, there you go, guys. It's all natural. And that's what I can say too, all natural right now. Uh, I want to ask one more question about your, I guess, people that don't get enough recognition. We talked about coaches, but talk about the teachers and the faculty and the different people at Blair Oaks. What did you really appreciate about them?
Yeah, they bleed green just like everybody who attends sports games and stuff like that. And then they're always up and cheering. They're always singing the fight song at assemblies at school, and it's just a cool atmosphere. It's something that you don't see at every school.
Okay. All right, you done an outstanding job. We're going to go ahead and jump into some speed round questions, which just basically some fun short answers. And the very first one, I mean, you've already talked a little bit about one of the foods I know that you probably like to eat, but after a game, what is that favorite go-to food or snack that you want to hit?
I like to grab like a sandwich of some sort and then a Pedialyte so I don't cramp on the bus ride home.
Okay, we got to jump into that. Worst cramp you ever had?
I woke up Saturday morning after a game at like 3 a.m. and I had a calf cramp and I had to walk it out and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, they're horrible. I will give you, I'm going to go ahead and give you my worst that I ever had. So it was after a track meet, and I had obviously not drank enough water. And I was laying down on the floor in the house watching some TV, and all of a sudden I got a cramp in my hamstring. I went to try to straighten that out, then I got a cramp in my quad.
Oh
And I
gosh.
was trying to straighten that out, and then I got a cramp in my calf. So I had three cramps in one leg, and all I could do was yell, "Mom!"
Oh boy.
I couldn't even move. I needed help and it hurt so bad. I don't even remember how I got out of that, but it was horrible. It was horrible. Okay, next question. If you would compare yourself to a superhero, what superhero would that be and why?
I don't know if I could really compare myself to any one of them, but if there's one that I would want to be, it'd be Spider-Man because flying through the air would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you my youngest, well, not my youngest, my second youngest grandson. We just had Facebook memory came up, and my daughter had taken pictures. And when he was two, she had gone through all the pictures and asked the kids what they wanted to be when they grew up. One of them said paleontologist, one said a veterinarian, and Deacon, when he was two, said Spider Man. That's what he wanted to be, was Spider Man. All right, next one. Anywhere in the world that you would want to go, where would that be and why?
I want to visit Colorado because I want to go try and ski.
Okay, see, there you go. Katie and Jay and the grandkids, they live out in Colorado. They live on the other side of the western slope, and I'm sure that they could get you hooked up. All you have to do, Jay, he would let you know, and uh, Dustin really liked Jay, and you could probably tell him to get you hooked up with him out there. Okay,
That'd be awesome.
all right. This is probably one of the most important questions that we're going to have to finish with. What is that chore that you just can't stand doing around the house?
Oh gosh. Probably the bathrooms because my bathroom downstairs is pretty clean, but the one that the other two boys use upstairs is always dirty.
Okay.
I like to just
So
clean my bathroom.
you're throwing the gauntlet down. You're telling the boys they need to step it up a little bit.
Yep.
All right, good. Any final comments? Any final things that you want to say to anybody? Um, any thanks? Anything like that?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for letting me come on.
Oh, absolutely. Been looking forward to having you come on. And okay, we got Melanie Morton Porter. She jumped on here real quick, and she wants to know more about you being a cowboy in your future job. And that's from Tristan's mom.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like the show Yellowstone, and it's something I want to do.
Okay, there we go. Thank you for bringing that up, Melanie. That was something that we didn't know and we needed to know. So, okay, so do you have a cowboy hat, boots, all that?
I do.
Okay, cool. What color?
I got some brown boots and a white hat.
All right, very good. All right, Justin, great interview. I appreciate having you on. And if you will hold on until after the program, I'm just going to close this out real quick and then I'll visit with you briefly afterwards. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Great interview. Excited to hear about your future and going into the medical field. Okay, wait, we got one late question coming in. Blake Terry, what character would you be in Yellowstone?
Casey.
Casey. All right, there you go. All right. If you hold on just a moment, I will be right back. And again, thank you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. We had the Blair Oaks football player and graduate, and even threw in a little bit of golf in his senior year, just because he can. And we're we're excited that he's got a career that he's looking at going into in the medical sales field, and just a great young man. Overcome a lot of adversity, and as you could tell, just a really great and kind young man. So we wish him well. All right, you have been watching One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars. Thank you so much for joining us, and God bless you, and I will see you next week.